Here comes the unstoppable Big Six, the Toyota Land Cruiser, world's toughest four-wheel drive. There's no stopping a Toyota. It's the toughest, guttiest, keep-going-est power package ever built.
Hello and welcome to Classic Car Diaries. Toyota is a household name in Sri Lanka and around the world. The 40 series Land Cruiser and its predecessor are the reason that is the case. Now let's meet the owner of this lovingly and painstakingly restored 1983 example, Travis Ondaatje.
Hi, nice to be here.
Shall we step inside your office for a chat?
Let's do.
Thank you, sir. Ladies first. All right. I forgot I was 6'1" when I thought about this. So Travis, now that we're finally in here, tell us about your journey with this vehicle.
So I found the vehicle in 2016.
Yeah.
And it was originally a Bank of Ceylon vehicle imported in 1983. And after it was auctioned, it was bought by Mr. Fernando soon after the auction. And he owned it for 23 years and obviously lost interest in it after a while. But when it was advertised, I did go and see it and completely fell in love with it because it had a clean canvas. I could see it and everything was there. Although I already owned BJ40, the originality of it just caught my eye and it's like, what's your price kind of thing,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the BJ40 also had a bank ownership.
Yes,
So clearly it was a trend.
It was a trend at that time. Of course, that was a soft top,
Yep.
People's Bank, but the hard top really didn't appeal to me when I was young because when you were younger, you want that roll cage look and bikini top and off-roading style. So that's what I did with the first one. And that's still with me, but this was a different story. It brought out the classic car aspect of, the whole.
I think culturally also this was a police vehicle at the time.
The lemon green kind of color when we were growing up with the canvas top, always seen in the police. And I think even if you watch the movies of that era, you probably see them.
Yeah. And are there many sort of clean, well-preserved examples in Sri Lanka left, or is this?
Thankfully, I think, like I said, a lot of these 40 series Land Cruisers took the trend of being off-road vehicles, and I think still they are. But a lot of people, after seeing my restoration, see the beauty of the Land Cruiser 40 series in its original form.
Yeah.
And people who have never seen it. Thankfully, through the 40 series club, the older guys are influencing the younger generation to keep it as original as possible because you're going to get more value out of the vehicle later on, which they don't see. And you see them show the trend of that overseas where these are going, $100,000 sometimes. It's nice to see that now it's gone to that, off-road style, and now slowly people are bringing it back to the classic style, and we are influencing that. And I think having this vehicle in the Classic Car Club as the only Land Cruiser, actually my other one is there as well, but this was the first Land Cruiser to come into the Classic Car Club, gave a bit of authenticity, shall we say.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it opened up a whole other group of classic car enthusiasts in the four-wheel drive sector. So let's talk about your restoration of this vehicle. I mean, how long did it take you, and it was painstaking, like you just mentioned.
Yes. So the first round of restoration was, as I bought it, it took about maybe 6 months to just get it into proper mechanical condition and electrical, all that sorted out. I didn't do much of the cosmetic stuff that time. After I started running the vehicle and got it in the Classic Car Club. After that, I've had a goal. The goal was to make this the best example of a 40 series in Sri Lanka. And to that end, I needed certain parts, and I was not going to compromise. The things that could be restored, I restored. If they were missing or broken, I would source all that. And so that process took about 4 years of collecting parts from all over the world, the US, Japan, Indonesia, Australia, and like favors from friends to collect boxes and ship over and like that. And then, of course, I was ready to restore it, and then the COVID hit. It just, went in the back shelf for a while. It was, on and off, but I got the chance to really put everything together. Funnily, during the financial crisis, because a lot of people didn't have work, people not bringing, they didn't have, the cars are not coming to the garages because there was nobody's running them. So our team at our company workshop were able to take it on and, hammer it through. And it took about 1.5 years still.
I think that also is an ideal tip for anyone looking to restore any car in general, but particularly a car that they've just bought that is a runner. It's always great, like Travis has done here, to basically run the vehicle, and keep collecting parts. Just collect parts.
And see what the problems are, because the more you run it, you know where the hiccups are, and then you need to fix those things.
Like you take the vehicle apart and it's not in drivable condition, and that's when you start ordering parts. Sometimes you can't find that part. And your vehicle is just stuck unnecessarily for a year even, looking for a piece that you can't put the car back in.
Very frustrating for the garage owner and to you. And
absolutely.
This is my first proper classic restoration, and I've learned so much doing this project. Thankfully, I had a good knowledge base to fall back on with my friend Charit. He's like a walking encyclopedia of Land Cruiser parts, and when he sees something wrong in that, he has this one of his eyes. It's like that's not there. That shouldn't be there.
Amazing.
So you could always send photos to him, and he would send photos to you and say this is how it should be, and point you in the right direction. And then me annoying our workshop staff saying that this has to be done like that, and they're like, who restores a Jeep or a Land Cruiser like this? This is not the way. This is not so. It was a learning curve for all of us.
I think you've fully defined the term painstakingly restored.
Exactly.
That
so
story.
I went to the extent of creating a process of bagging everything which tinkers don't do. I learned this from internet or the YouTubers who take down cars, and I gave them a whole size range of Ziploc bags, and everything had to be put it into them and marked, and that helped them because
when
putting it back together, it went much faster.
That's amazing. Travis, thank you so much for sharing this story with us. Now shall we take it out for a drive?
Of course.
So we're now driving the BJ40. Travis, what do you love most about driving this vehicle?
I think the simplicity of the vehicle, and it's so analog that if you think of a Land Cruiser, this is the Land Cruiser you want to drive, to be your first Land Cruiser to drive. After that, everything else, has to measure up to this.
Is it because it's the purest form?
Purest form, I think, and the most iconic form.
Yeah. It's sparse, but I wouldn't call it like, it still has like everything you need.
Yeah, the thing is, it's so functional.
Yeah.
The Japanese made sure that everything works, it's fixable.
Yeah.
So, I won't say another brand, but we always compare to another brand and say those are always in the garage, that these are always running,
Partly testament to your restoration, but also to the design, is that you don't feel like this is rickety.
No,
There's no sound.
It's built, overbuilt. Generally what we say is Land Cruisers are overbuilt. So many components will fail, but you can still get home,
Yeah.
That's the good thing about it. And that's why they were used in so many of these, remote projects, going to the US, I think Colorado, and in Australia, the Snowy Mountain projects. And even here in Sri Lanka, Skanska brought them down for the Mahawali projects.
Yes,
and they knew they will work till the project was over.
Yeah.
This is a classic, so I don't really abuse it too much.
Yeah.
But I like driving it, So Sunday or whatever, I'll take it out just to drive it out.
So this is a 3-liter 4-cylinder with a 4-speed?
4-speed, yeah.
Yeah.
They
It also came with the 6, I think.
the 6-cylinder also there, and the FJ denotes the petrol engine.
Yes.
So we did have a lot of, fair amount of petrols, but unfortunately they are converted mostly.
Yeah.
One is running right now,
Yeah.
but a few others are being restored.
And do you feel this one survived because of its long ownership in the previous owner, you said, right?
I think so. I think,
Okay.
and also because originally from it was Bank of Ceylon, so they tend
Yeah.
to get looked after better
Sure.
from brand new than when it was the others that were in the Forces and stuff.
Sure. I mean, I think something that's really surprising me just experiencing this car right now is it's really not that bumpy. It's not as harsh as I was expecting.
It is bumpy, but I think, Navala Cushion Works did a pretty good job
Yeah.
on the recushioning of the.
Sure.
So that's taking a bit of the bumpiness out, and of course, new shocks and recambered original springs.
Now, you're someone who owns Land Rovers. How do they compare?
Land Rover, my dad had the Land Rover when we were growing up, a 5-3 Land Rover, and
Yeah.
they had a lot of character.
Of course.
I do own a 5-3 Land Rover also now, but
Yeah.
this was, I think, it draws more passion to me.
Okay.
And when you see this shape,
Yeah.
it just brings out more excitement, shall we say.
I think also when you see this shape, it brings out different memories to different people as well, right? Like for me, from my younger days, I think about Richard Hammond driving this through the Amazon rainforest on Top Gear.
Yes.
But
yes.
for you, what is that?
To me, it was actually a 10-year-old me going on my first overseas trip with my family, and I think I saved up most of my allowance on that trip and bought a mustard color 40 series die-cast. That was the first, I would say, bite of a Land Cruiser bug onto me.
Yeah.
And ever since, I know someday I knew I wanted to buy one.
When I saw this for the first time was when I realized I'd never really seen a Land Cruiser. I'd never really seen a 40 series as it's meant to look from factory, and I saw this and it was very transcending. I think everyone there, I think it was either Sunday Run or Classic Car Rally, I can't remember which it was.
Yes.
But everyone was just sort of in awe because they hadn't...
Where did this come from?
And is this how it's meant to be? It's so, in its purest guise, these look so different to how they look.
And it appeals to a different generation because they
Completely
never saw it,
different.
right?
Yeah. So Travis, thank you so much for showing us your beautiful vehicle, and also thank you so much for putting this back to originality when no one else is really doing it that much. It's really something special for us all to see, and I think you've done us all a massive favor. So thank you for being here. Thank you for your morning.
Thank you for having Land Cruiser on the show. I think I got into a club also because of this vehicle, and I'm thankful for the club for letting a Land Cruiser in.
That's fantastic. And I think it's a fine addition to the club. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
watching, guys.
Thank you.
And we'll see you on the next episode.